Hello, this is Dr. Stephen Cangiano. I am the president and co-founder of RDT.Media and Events with its online companions, relationship-development.com and humanity-upgrade.com. I am here today with Sherry Khachatryan. I had to practice that. She is a holistic health coach, registered nurse who spent 30 years in allopathic medicine, and she's going to tell us why she transferred or transitioned from traditional medicine to holistic medicine. She is the founder of Luv-Health, Luv-Health, and she specializes in health and wellness, especially for busy professionals. We're all busy. She also has some interesting things. She talks about bioindividuality. She's going to talk about the tremendous, overwhelming amount of information in this field. And I think she's going to talk about transitions life systems. Sherry, is there anything you want to add to that? I'd love to hear your story of how you went from, nursing for 30 years into becoming a holistic health practitioner.
Yes, Dr. Cangiano. So after being a nurse for a long, long time, of course, I love taking care of people, and I was in the nursing. I still am in nursing field because I like helping people. But at some point, I just saw people getting sicker and sicker, and medication list kept growing and growing. And people, I work in hospitals, so people kept coming back. I didn't feel like I'm making big of a difference. So I felt like something is missing. There is missing piece. When I went back to nursing school for my bachelor's degree, I started exploring holistic nursing. I was writing all my papers about holistic nursing. I was reading as much as I could. That was new concept. And just by coincidence, I was reading blog that led me to this site, which is IIN, Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And what I realized at that moment, this is what I'm looking for. And health was new concept to me. And I just started training right then for holistic health coaching.
Good. So if you could, I also noticed that you're certified by the American Board Association of Drugless Practitioners. So I want to tell us what holistic nursing or a holistic health practitioner is. And I totally understand and agree with this, but I want to maybe tell the listeners and the viewers why drugless. So first, what is the holistic, and then why you pick drugless practitioners, please?
Yeah, okay. So holistic meaning that we treat the person as a whole, meaning we're looking their sleep, their stress level, their food and nutrition, exercise, and even financial. I have something called Circle of Life. One of my first consultations would be about people are going to go over Circle of Life and basically rate themselves, how they feel about in their financial, in their social, in their family life. So, I start guiding them whichever area they want to grow in. Obviously, this is all based on nutrition, health, eating, lifestyle change, but plus all these other areas of the life.
Very good. And so basically, why drugless practitioners? Now, I have a good idea why. I mean, because you'd see people come into the hospital and they'd be on one drug, which would treat one disease, but that drug would cause symptoms that would need another drug, and then another drug, and another drug, and these patients would be what we term in the medical profession polypharmacy, which just means they're on a ton of medication that has its own set of complications. What was your experience with that situation?
Yeah, that's true. I think conventional medicine is focused on medication a lot, as opposed to changing the lifestyle and treating person holistically like we do, or functional medicine or integrative medicine does nowadays. But conventional medicine approach is a little different. So in many cases, just nutrition, exercise alone will make a huge difference before they get to medicine. So I think it's a great idea being well, taking care of yourself, identifying the problem area. Maybe someone eats well, but they're not exercising enough. There's not enough movement, or whatever that may be. Or some people are just, I get many people who are sugar addicts because they're busy, they're constantly snacking, they're drinking the Pepsi and Coke, whatever, just to get burst of energy, and they just keep going on the day. So yeah, where I was going with this is certain things can be resolved way before they get to medication, or even when they're on medication. Just medicine alone does not do the job. For example, let's say cholesterol, statins. The studies prove that nutrition and lifestyle change is 70% more effective. Statins are 20% effective. So
yeah, no, I believe that. And I know statins have some other, believe it or not, there was some studies that came out where statins actually caused heart problems because they depleted your CoQ10, etc. And so that's the thing about medication. It goes and it creates other problems that you have to treat and other problems that you have to treat. I really like what you said in the beginning, that you treat the whole person. Medicine is treating the disease. Do you get resistance from people? Let's say they come in with a nutritional problem, and you start asking them about their relationships, their stress, their exercise. Do you get resistance through that, or is that something that's easy for you to incorporate into your treatment plan?
Depending on a person, depending how motivated they are, believe it or not, I am just a guide. It's whatever their mind is set to. But of course, when they come to me, I want them to live with the results. So I'm there with them as much as possible. And another thing is, there are people who are willing to go above and beyond and go do all my recommendations and do their own studying and do something more. And there are people who have slow start, and then I just meet them where they are. Basically, that's what it is, because
Gotcha.
you can have the same expectation from everyone.
Gotcha. So you kind of do it on a gradient. You get them where they are, and you get them to move as quickly as you can. Yeah, that is the most intelligent approach, because if you give them too much at once, people will shut down, which is what I noticed, because I ran a clinic. You talk about people's medical journey and then coaching them to whole foods. What do you mean by that? What explain that for us?
Yeah. It is exactly what it is. It's just changing lifestyle to whole foods, because it's so easy to go walk in the store and just grab very pretty boxes and it says, let's say, alcohol free or something free. It doesn't really mean too much. Nobody has time. Everybody's busy running around. Everybody's looking for the quick result, quick fix, and they want something to heat up really quickly. But in reality, there is no nutrition. So I changed also when I started going training for health coaching. I cook 99%. I just buy the whole food that I can see, vegetables and fruits and everything else, and as fresh as possible, seasonally appropriate. That's another thing. Locally grown. That's very big also. It's very important. So people need to get into that habit of cooking again to get that nutrition. After all, the meaning of the eating is to feed your body, to get those nutrition and minerals.
Good, good. And why is seasonal important? Because I have some, I have a dear friend who's a militant macrobiotic vegan, and they talk about the seasons. Why is seasonal foods important for health and nutrition?
Uh, uh, well, one reason, because we are made that way. Our body absorbs and digests well seasonal foods. When the temperature changes from summer to fall, like fall vegetables are more suitable for our digestion and our body. And another thing is, if it doesn't grow, let's say I live in New Jersey, if certain like summer vegetables does not grow in New Jersey, where is it coming from? Sometimes it comes from Mexico, maybe it comes from Florida. And how does it get here? Obviously, it's sprayed with some kind of chemicals, or injected with chemicals, right, to maintain the freshness. I don't want all those in my body. I just want just a regular vegetable and a nutrition. That's all I want.
Yeah, natural. Yeah, yeah. So you're saying that your body digests, depending on the seasons better, and food that comes from a distance almost always has some kind of preservative, pesticide, unnatural elements, which, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. What, you also talk about something called bio-individuality. It seems like you really customize a plan to that individual. Explain what individuality is in your practice.
Okay, so every body has different nutritional needs. There are a lot of diets, let's say, once in a while something comes out. I believe like recently everybody's on high-fat diet. I don't believe that high-fat diet is good for everyone. It's good for certain cases, even for certain medical conditions, but it's not good for everybody. Or the paleo diet is not good for, not necessarily good for everybody. So what I do is I just learn their needs, and I always teach people to learn their body and listen to their body. Usually once they are a little more balanced, they can tell what their body needs, what their body wants. So we kind of go through that learning process and learn what they need.
Gotcha. So for me, it seems like there's an explosion. So I ran a wellness clinic back in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002. And it was really simple. We would get people off high fat processed foods. We get them on a vegetarian diet. Some people had to have a little bit of meat in their diet, but that was it. I mean, that was the standard. And, there was the Atkins diet, which was just starting. And, but now we got the spectrum of diets has grown so much, and it's so confusing. We got militant vegans on one end, and we got people who only eat beef on the other end. We got paleo, keto, Whole30, Atkins, South Beach. I mean, on and on and on. What would you, somebody who's doing that type of research, what kind of guidance would you give them? I think you mentioned a little bit in bio-individuality, but what is your opinion, or how do you help people in this world of bulk? You called it bulk information.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I don't necessarily, my work is not about putting people on paleo diet or any of this commercial diet, even though they have their own specific benefits. I understand that. But I guide them to change their lifestyle step by step, adding, by basically like all food groups. I think that everybody should get all food groups, but there are a healthy version of carbohydrates. Like we learn about simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. This way they know how to make choice. And towards the end of the program also, they learn about portions and how to do portion control. And once they go through, unless there's a need to eliminate, let's say, gluten for allergy or any other allergy, or dairy is another common allergen, or there is no reason to restrict any food group. That's the way I'm thinking, unless they're qualified, they have to.
Yeah. So unless there's some type of reaction in the body, allergic reaction, that you really want to get all the balance in whole food groups. Tell me what the trend, this is very interesting. Tell me what the transitions lifestyle, TLS, transitions lifestyle system is.
Okay, so transition lifestyle system is a weight loss program that I use, but simply because it's been studied and clinically proved, and that's based on low glycemic diet. And I think it works well. So when it comes to weight loss, it's a little complex. I mean, anyone who has dealt with that, they would agree with me. You cannot have all the food you want and lose weight. So some things needs to be taken away. So in the beginning, we cut down carbohydrates, like a lot of inflammatory foods like dairy, coffee and sugar, and they go through detox first week, and then fat loss, which is based on fat loss, and then eventually gradually it comes back. And meanwhile, it's teaching a healthy lifestyle because they eat consistently, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. It's kind of teaching them, it's all developing habits. I'm sure a lot of people know cutting carbs, they will lose weight. People know that. But the difficulty is changing habits. That's where I come in, because we are creatures of habits. We just get up, do the same thing, get the same cup of coffee, same road, same workplace, right? Everything like repeats. So changing habits is not easy. That's when we go through and help them change their habits.
All
Develop
right,
new habits, those healthy habits.
all right, good. Yeah. So I really want to get into how you do that. So glycemic means that it's how quick the sugar gets into your system. And what you're saying is you want to switch them from high glycemic foods like orange juice, sugar, watermelon has a high, those kind of things, to things that will more slowly and more naturally be assimilated into your system. Is that basically what you're doing?
Yeah. So I provide them with list of foods and a menu that all low glycemic fruits and vegetables allowed. So they're basically picking everything that still needs to be cooked or fresh or whatever. But it's based on that list of low glycemic foods. The vegetables, the oil, clean and healthy oils, protein, also clean protein, and the fruits.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you really touched on something that I think is the nemesis of almost everyone, is how do you change habits and behavior?
So we do that slowly. Or it depends. In a weight loss program, it's a little bit different, a little bit stricter, but it works. It works as a weight loss program. If they are in my other programs, longer programs, I mean, it depends on their need. Like I have people who come to me, they say, I don't need this. I want just slow change. And that worked very well for my client recently, who I think I just talked a little bit about her. She was addicted to carbohydrates. And we did the same thing. We just add vegetables, let's say for the first week. And then second week, I just keep adding good, healthy foods instead of taking it away. So that's a little bit different approach than my weight loss program. So as we add food, they get nutrition, they start getting water and hydration, and then learn about snacking and eating consistently. Little changes every time, and eventually at the end of program, which is at least 3 months, 3 to 6 months, they learn.
Gotcha. And how do you specifically, let's say somebody has this a bad habit, how do you get them to specifically change? They get up and throw 3 tablespoons of sugar in their coffee in the morning, or whatever the habit is. They stop at Dairy Queen on the way home, and they should just go home. all these things. How do you get people, they eat, you know, how do you get them to change these bad health or bad eating habits?
Oh, okay. Well, it's a little bit easier for me because when people come to me, they reach that level that they want to change. So I have leverage there.
Good, good.
So again, everybody's different. I had people who have high anxiety about, let's say, one of my first clients was, again, was a sugar addict, and she was using a lot of the artificial aspartame sugar, which is very dangerous, right? It causes cancer, seizure, and she was a dear friend of mine. And I really wanted her to help her and stop. Like in her case, it took me a little longer. She had to start using less and less and less until she stopped. Like for another one, she was ready to stop. You know, she just, like I said, she was ready to go above and beyond. She started eating vegetables. She went through all the withdrawal and headaches and very quietly. And she was just a strong woman. Everybody does differently.
Yeah. So I think it was probably harder to get the friend to change habits because she's a friend.
Yes.
The client who comes to you. And I think you said something extremely important. And what that is that people have to want to change.
Yes.
And yeah. And if they get to the point where they come to you, they feel like they can't do it on their own, I guess that really helps the behavioral change process. Okay. And so, all right, good. So what are some of the techniques that you use to really, what are the expectations you create for people? Let's say somebody wants to lose 40 pounds and they come into you. How do you coach them through that process?
Okay, so that again, based on their goals. My job is to support their goals, whether they want to lose that 40 pounds in 6 months or 3 months. Well, number one, it has to be realistic. 40 pounds losing in, like, they can come to me and say, I want to lose 40 pounds in a month. That's not possible, right? And I cannot promise that kind of result to anyone. And it's better when they make decision, they make their goal around it, because they know their lifestyle, they know what they are capable of, they know how high they're motivated or whatnot. So it's easier for me just to guide them to that process once they set their goal, the time, and I just help them to take appropriate actions to get there, and just with my recommendations.
Yeah. So I think what you're saying is get them involved, set realistic expectations. You're not going to lose 40 pounds in a month unless you cut their leg off or something, right? And then actually do it on a gradient. So yeah. So, and it's really important from what you're telling me, which makes total sense, that you want to get motivated clients. You want people who
Yes.
are ready. You want people who are ready for a change.
Yes. Well, through my experience, I realized you can't force anyone into anything. It's not possible, and it's not my style either. I can educate them, I can support them, I can help them, explain them, and help them get to that decision. But I can't make decision for them to lose weight, or even though I know, I know the benefits of losing weight. Let's say I meet people who say, oh, I have high blood pressure, I'm diagnosed as pre-diabetic, and I know what their benefit would be if they lost 10 or 20 pounds. They will not need medications. They will just, the quality of life would be way different, right? But I can't make them unless they really committed to it.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah. I mean, I really, working in the wellness clinic, I saw some amazing health transformations. And it really, for those people listening, and I know you've seen this because I have a final question for you.
Mhm.
It is amazing what lifestyle transitions can do for your health, especially in those chronic diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure, and that's where traditional medicine doesn't work, and maybe even enables people, where traditional medicine's great if you have an emergency, if you have an infection, if you're having a heart attack. I mean, there's nothing better than American medicine. But when you have high blood pressure, diabetes, your kidney functions, all these types of things, low energy, trouble sleeping, traditional medicine doesn't, it many times, in my opinion, enables the problem rather than helps. Give us an example to really whet people's appetite of a health transformation that you've helped somebody make.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
If you could, to whet people's appetite, give us an example of a health transformation that you have helped somebody make.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I should share my experience, because when I started, I got into wellness more. Before that, I was a nurse, right? I had a stressful job, as you can imagine, as a nurse, and busy life. And I had GERD, which is high acid, right? And I had to take Nexium every day.
All
And
right, just explain. So GERD is gastroesophageal reflux disease, and that can be extremely uncomfortable.
yes,
That is a great example of something that can be treated. Like, what they'll do is they'll give people antacids, they'll give them Pepsid, the Pepsid AC. That's a great example. How did you get rid of that problem?
yes. Okay, yeah, like you said, it's very uncomfortable, and it's very common that people are Nexium and Protonix. I think pretty much everybody's in Protonix and Nexium, which I don't think is necessary. So what happens was, when I was going through training, I also became vegetarian. So I stopped eating meat, which was normally I would eat like some kind of healthy cold cut sandwich, which would be turkey or chicken, because I was still health minded. I wasn't the healthiest, but I was health minded. So I stopped eating all the processed food, and I started cooking using whole foods. And I think that was the end of it. That's how it ended for me. And I have a lot of clients who have better energy, quality of sleep. Someone said quality of sleep, not just they got enough sleep, but the quality, because people can monitor their sleeping nowadays. There are many different apps, so it shows how well you sleep. No more cravings, because they eat better, they get nutrition, they eat consistently, and they can make choice, actually. And I teach them to prepare their meals, or sitting down eating. Actually, that was another thing, which seems very simple, but people are busy, they're just running around. It's like forgotten thing to sit down. They think it's possible just to fix it with a little bit of snack or coffee or soda, but eventually it hurts them.
Yes, yeah, and that's such a great example, because what the GERD, the gastroesophageal reflux disease, is, it's like a warning sign. It's saying, hey, there's something wrong with the diet, there's something wrong with the weight. GERD can often lead to esophageal disease, even esophageal cancer. And it's all these downstream effects and what medicine does, as we spoke about in the very beginning, will give you Protonix, Nexium, Pepsi, whatever it is, even Tums. And
Mm-hmm.
these things can actually, they quiet the symptoms, but they don't get at the underlying problem, and then they cause other problems. You have trouble assimilating foods. Acid's supposed to be in your stomach to digest food, and if if you get rid of that balance, that's really an excellent example. All right. Well, is there anything that we missed that you wanted to cover, that you wanted to go over today?
I think we covered a lot of things.
Yeah, we did for sure. How can people get in touch with you? Because obviously you're really helping people. How can they get in touch with you?
So through my website, www.love is spelled luv-health.com.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. We have it on our site. We have some great articles from you on the site, and we hope that you're going to continue to contribute. We love having you as one of our authors. It's really a pleasure. All right, this is Dr. Stephen Cangiano from RDT.Media and Events. Sherry, thanks for spending this time with us. We hope to have you back. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right.
Bye-bye.